Here we go. We got our devices on. We've got the music all done. It's Saturday night. We're starting early. Yes, we are. This is January. How is everyone doing? January 3rd, 2026. I got a cat banging on my door. I got to find the comments. And yes, we're going to be doing the live streams on Saturdays. That's my goal. That's my big goal. Start at 8 p.m. Central Time, 8 to 10 p.m. And hopefully that works out. If you're new here, we have a vertical live. We got a horizontal live. The horizontal one, obviously, is the one where you can see the charts. And regardless of whatever one you're in, they show me both the chats. Okay. I know for a while we were like, okay, what the hell's going on? I think I kind of got it under control now. So with that said, let me get this party started, right? Let's get this live stream going. You are in the star room. This is where we do astrology readings. We are a learning community. So if you have questions, put them in there. A lot of folks in the chat are very knowledgeable. If you want your chart looked at, if you want your chart read, you can do that. You got to get in the chat. First come, first serve. And those who gift the channel, I spend more time on their charts. Anybody else's chart, I'll go through here so that we have time. Basically, we do like a speed reading. And then, sometimes there's time left over. And if that's the case, we do all paranormal, metaphysical, whatever. It's been a while since we've been able to do that. Let me try to get this other thing off here. I'm not really sure why. Let me see if it lets me get out of here. Yeah. Oh, I don't know if that's to remove me from the stage. Yeah, that's what that was. That was to remove me from the stage. Okay, hold on. I'm messing things up. I'm trying to get rid of this. Oh, man. Okay, I don't know what the hell I'm doing with StreamYard. It doesn't matter. All right, let's go. Let me get started here. We've got some folks here. I see, we got Hibiscus Healings is here, and I already got an email, and I got the chart drawn up, so I got to get to work. That's great. How are you doing, Hibiscus Healings? I see Healings by Donna, Healing Readings by Donna Marie. Woohoo! We got some new names. Sinister Days. Okay, Sinister Days, I see you. Teamwork is here. What's going on, Teamwork? Hello, Christy. Woohoo, Christy, how are you feeling? Teamwork. Full moon is strong and very active. Yeah. I ain't gonna say anything else about that. Yeah. Oh, good. Some people got to see it. Yep, we had the clouds. Gibson, oh my God. I hope you're doing good, lady. You have been in my head, and I'm like, I hope this is all good. Gibson, it is so good to see your name. Stacy, oh my God, Stacy's here. Wow, this is what a joy. I love seeing some names I haven't seen in a while, people that make my life easier. We'll put it like that. All right, so let me get to work. And for anybody I didn't get to say hello to, look at that. Stacy's working already. Stacy, you're a blessing. Totally. Man, I wish I could get rid of this other thing. How do I get rid of the... Oh, wait a minute. This might be it. God, hold on. I might mess everything up, but let's see. Oh, shit. Okay, I don't know what I just did. I don't know why I'm having... Oh, my God. What did I do? How do I escape from this? Yeah, let me press that button. Okay, that's all normal now. Okay, so I just totally destroyed. Let me get to work. I can leave this tech crap to somebody else. Just let me get a chart on the screen. This is a nightmare. Okay, so Hibiscus, I got your chart. What I don't know, look at that. We got the list. Hibiscus, number 1. Donna Marie, number 2. Sinister Days, number 3. Teamwork, number 4. Christy, number 5. If you're passing, say you're passing, of course. Christy said she's passing. And that's how we do it. However you show up in the chat, that is your turn. Again, people who gift the channel, I gift you back by giving you more time. Oh, Stacy was on a trip? Oh, shit, I didn't even know. Oh, Stacy, I'm really sorry. I don't even know what's going on in your life. That's crazy. I should know these things. Okay. Well, I hope it was good. Donna said she's passing. Okay. All right, let's get a chart up here. Hibiscus, what am I looking at? I don't know if I saw. Is it just like a I'm going to talk about whatever I'm drawn to. I have your basic chart drawn up, so I'm kind of drawn to just go over that because it's your basic birth chart. But you might have had something else in particular that I just didn't see. If you had a specific question, let me get that off of there. And I'm still going to try to get rid of this. Hide the preview. Yeah, thank you. Oh, it was there the whole time. Okay, that's better. I just don't need more shit on the screen and drive me nuts. So Hibiscus, I'm getting your chart up here. And because money was paid, was gifted, you can actually get the link if you would like. And with that, because you haven't been here before, but here's your link for you, Hibiscus. If you want, you can if you have questions or something, because I don't read the chat when I'm looking at a chart. Both my eyes are on one object at that time. You know what I mean? So if you got questions, you can grab the link, and you don't feel obligated to grab the link because you don't have to. Sometimes people like to have a rapport with me while I'm looking at their stuff. If you don't want that, not a worry. That's just an option that is there for folks who gift the channel. So with that, we are starting an hour early tonight. Again, for anybody, like this is the first Saturday we're doing this. I know it's a little, I have talked about it. Told you guys we were going to do it. But we just got off the holidays and well, yeah. That's about all I can say about that. So get my image up here. Wow, something's different. Okay, thank you. There's the image. Whatever you see. All right, thank you. I see that. All right, let me get to the chart. Let me get my little thingamajigger going here. All right, so we got a person who's Saggy on the rising. Fiery, huh? Rising talks about somebody's appearance, right? First house, physical body, but also the head. Fiery energy. Absolutely. Sagittarius typically is very independent energy. We even think of the horse, adventure. There might be a little bit of athleticism there. Saggy and that horse and the goals and very active energy, not stagnant whatsoever. Thirst for adventure. Now, because this is the ascendant and the appearance, this is how a person may appear to look, right? And how they express out into the world. Yep, absolutely. So when we see this, we kind of like, whoa, this is like traveling kind of energy, right? Now, I see you have Neptune in your first house. Interesting that it's also at 13. Really significant combination there. Neptune is like this very ethereal energy. It is more spiritual. It's kind of like, divine energy, right? But it can also be a little bit on the hidden side. And it can make things a little complicated in the first house with our body and with energy. But one of the things I've also noticed with Neptune energy for folks who have it near their ascendant or in that first house, these are like actors, actresses, public figures, politicians, influencers, people who might have a costume or change their looks, right? Because we think Pisces and we think I'm changing my role even. And we also think, sometimes those people, there can be physical changes for sure, but it can be, can be clothing and hair and stuff like that. 13 is very strong number with Mars energy. And so Mars and Aries, right? So there can be this almost spiritual activity even, or someone who may have that look and that appearance to have this. Okay. The ascendant, I wanted to go a little bit deeper because the number 7 was really jumping out. And that number 7 is, it's almost like the opposite of the freedom loving Saggy energy, because this is 70 degrees is the we we energy, WE, where Saggy is a little bit more about me. It's more about my freedom, my independence, my adventures. But it's not so much focused on like selfishness like some of the other fire signs. Saggy's really seeking knowledge, right? And many times it can be connected to traditional religions, even. And we think, again, spirituality, but we think also of foreigners, foreign lands, foreign languages, foreign countries, people who speak, yeah, who can be interpreters, even. But the 7 degrees is partnership energy. So it's an interesting combination, and I think it can be helpful in that it can kind of taper some of the fiery Sagittarius thirst for seeking an adventure, especially when Saggy energy may have difficulties with home, family, emotions, just anything that it finds challenging. And I'm only saying this because the moon and the Mercury in the chart and your midheaven, your goals, what you want for your future, there's a little bit of an angle. So it squares up and it causes stress and tension. But you have it in kind of a big way because you've got this here. So it just creates some stress and tension to this kind of stuff that you have. Let me get rid of this dot object that's creating some craziness. So it can be a little bit on the stressful side sometimes. And when that happens, there's going to be a need like for having an adventure, for creating your own adventure, even because you have this strong Aries energy with your moon, which means I'm emotionally satisfied, whether it's by learning, seeking adventures. Saggy is the traveler, vacation. And so it's not going to be stagnant whatsoever, but wisdom. Jupiter's the ruler of the sign. So there's something that you may even come off as appearing to be quite wise to people who, um, you know, like a first impression, right? Now, that doesn't mean like that you're not wise, but because it's the ascendant, I usually call it like the cover of the book or the movie cover, right? The thumbnail even. And sometimes those can be a little misleading. So we kind of got to look at some of the other things. And before we even go some other here's a big thing that comes across in your chart right off the top is you got a Mars energy right at the opposite of the moon. So the moon is my home and my family, my emotions, my emotional stability, my emotional security. And a moon connecting with the Saggy energy, because Saggy is like go big or go home energy, it means that there can be times where your emotions get really they kind of blow up. They can get really um when we take fire and we add air to it, we get whoosh, really literally, right? Because there's a connection with Jupiter here, and it can be overwhelming even at times. And the other thing about the overwhelmingness stuff is the Neptune would add to some of that overwhelming stuff. And so these are just little things to think of when you might feel as though you might feel those things, like a little overwhelming kind of energy, and the need to maybe escape, because Neptune is escapism, right? If we're music, movies, prayer, whatever it is, meditation. But yeah, a lot of esoteric kind of stuff can also be Sagittarius. And also the other lifetimes, our past history, past soul knowledge kind of stuff. So me explaining all that is to point out that with this opposition from your moon to Mars, and they're almost exact, this can be a challenge. This can be a challenge. Mars is combative energy. It is the fighter. Now, what I like is that you have it at 24 degrees. And so 24 degrees can add a little, it can smooth out Mars's rough edges, because Mars is very combative, right? It's very impatient. Spicy communications, even combative communications, because it's Mars and Gemini, but it's partnerships. So it's other individuals, people that you partner up with even. So this can be personal and professional. There's assertive communicators, assertive communications. This is the kind of energy you have. However, remember, it at first was as I'm speaking about it, it might seem like, huh, is that really like, is that a thing? Just remember, it has a Neptune vibration to it, which then says these can be hidden communications. These can be communications that, whether it's email, snail mail, it's not, how Mars is like bold and in someone's face, but because it has this smoothing out of Mars is in your face, it can calm it down a little bit. It can make it a slightly bit more passive, where it says, oh, I'm just going to kind of go with the flow type of energy. This is spiritual action, spiritual communications, taking action with spiritual matters. And if we're not doing it with the spiritual stuff or religious stuff, or things that are about unity and oneness, it wants to share, it wants to banter. It's got a desire, like it's passionate about a banter and open communication. Again, if it's not with the spiritual stuff, it can take the other route with this 24 degrees. And the other route can be tricky. It can be deeply psychological. It can be stuff that's just, it may have a hard time using its words even, because it can just be more physical energy. The other thing too is 24 can, we're a little bit of help with substances. And when I say substances, this doesn't, we don't have to go to the extreme stuff. We can just be with anything like music and sound, even, right? Things that we're adding to our life that can enhance smells, scents. It's a really sensitive degree, highly, highly sensitive. So for people who go to the route of a little bit of wine, a little bit of a drink, this may help loosen things up even, because Mars at 24, this is this energy. This is the impression. This is the predisposition that it's under. And that's in your significant one-on-one relationships. I have to also, the fire is just jumping out. And so Mars is a big deal, because this Mars, it goes back to how your first house works, because the Mars is the planet, right? It's the planet that rules that first house energy with Aries energy. So we're going to look at your Aries real quick, because Mars and Aries in your first house, they're all connected. And look what you have in your home, in your fourth house. You have fire energy. Again, fourth house is my emotions and my family. You've got Aries here. Aries is the fighter. It's Martian energy. It's Mars energy. And so with that energy and the combativeness, and we think of history and the past even, these are people where in history, where whether you call it soul memory or another lifetime, these can be family members who served in the military, possibly. This can be that my mom may have had something to do with that. It could also just mean that mom is optimistic and fiery and a self-starter. Or very independent energy, mom and home, very independent energy. It also gives your emotions a little bit more of an optimistic spin on them, where you see things, the brighter sides of things. That's that Aries energy. It can be fun. It can be willing and ready to be the first one out of the gate and to start stuff. Aries can be very youthful and have a nice, just a lighthearted vibration to it. This is your superpower, by the way. Aries energy is your superpower. Starting stuff, starting things, taking action, but new beginnings is all about your superpowers. And let me see this, 12. Interesting. You have a lot of connections. It's soul memory, soul history, assertive energy, but it's also a moon degree. So it speaks to the past again. And it's even more intensified because it's in the fourth house of the past. So feminine energy, strong feminine energy, but yet with a masculine touch to it. Assertive energy, aggressive energy. Again, we're not going to back down. So the home may be a little bit on the combative side when I was a kid here, right? And so very much, very independent, very much about looking out for myself, and possibly having to do that because this vibration is what you grew up under. This is Aries energy. So maybe everybody was quite independent, but your superpower, a south node at 16 degrees, this is strong energy for I have history of standing on my own two damn feet. Very courageous energy. Some even use the word competitive, actually. And with the emotions part of this, when I say emotions and we think intentions and starting something, I love when somebody has a fire and water mixture because the emotions are the actual fuel for when we set our intentions. And so knowing that you have fire and water mixture, you can really activate stuff and get it going. You get the water boiling fast, right? So when we take that kind of energy, which is massive energy, put a pot on the stove, you put a flame under it, right? 1 minute it's stagnant, it's just sitting there, but you put a flame under it, and all of a sudden it's super active. It's alive. It's not going to sit still. Things are going to happen. And this is what this is, South Node and Aries energy. And tribal energy is strong. You're going to have a lot of tribal energy in your chart in general. And you do, because you've got a Pluto in Libra. You've got a lot of stuff here. You've got boss energy in your chart written in multiple places, boss energy in your midheaven, authority figure, especially domestic energy in the home. It's I'm the one in charge. And if it's not taking on that role of being in charge, I'm the one who thinks long term. But there may be rules that you kind of set into place, long-term goals you set into place, domestic energy or work habits, work routines, strong organizational skills, really strong organizational skills. When we think of dad energy too, we also look at Saturn. We also look at Leo energy, and you've got Saturn in Leo. You've got a combination here in the ninth house. Saturn is normally where the restrictions are. So restrictions with fun, possibly. A belief about being, beliefs are strong in the ninth house. Religious beliefs. There might be something about tradition and old, tried, true, and tested in time here. And let me see the fifth house. Okay, yeah, there could be a combo. So when we have the combination like this of the rules and things taking a long time, there can be restrictions that are set up that we might feel took away a little bit of our ability to play and to just laugh. So Mars, even though it's very adventurous and young, and so you would think games and playful, um, the house of play for you and joy in my happy space, you've got the same Martian energy of fiery and doing things, not sitting still, but you also have a lot of Taurus energy there. And so when we think of play, Taurus might play with food and baking and making things and people beautiful, because Taurus is all about beauty. And so this might have been something that was, something you played with or did when you were younger, but then maybe as you got older, it became a thing because work and my beliefs about work and the long term and practical, doing something that's practical and tangible, something that makes sense, something that's of use and of service. But service and your long term goals is big, and there's a lot of thought put into it. You have a retrograde Mercury, and that's a big deal, especially at 20 degrees. This is more soulful energy. This is more karmic. This is more, those soul bonds, soul connections. You have a lot of placements for this in your chart. So with all the stuff you have, I'm bopping all around here, with all the stuff you have in Libra energy and relationships, you have a nurturing energy towards friends and significant one-on-one relationships. But again, the boss energy kind of comes up, and this sets up this beautiful connection with Saturn in your chart. And I'm sorry, I keep using red. But it's a beautiful connection with Saturn. So again, long-term organization. This again can be entertaining and entertainment, but it can also be about, just having plain old a good time and fun. And that's going to be really important, but doubly important, not just for you, but for your friends. 11th house. This is the house of groups, group energy. This is the house of streaming. Like you're here tonight, live streaming, right? You're part of this. You're in the chat. This is that. This is significant one-on-one relationships, and this is the king of technology. Uranus. It's in your 11th house of technology. By the way, this is astrology. And you have it at 8 freaking degrees. The 8 degrees. Oh my God, this is the Scorpio degree. This is extremely psychic energy. This is the energy. You have a mixture of the psychic energy and the divine knowledge that comes through. You have this really strong, and again, the past comes up, more Pluto energy, more soul energy comes up again. And so it's exciting. It's really exciting. And you may find that you have these exciting times and you have that satisfying need that you're not going to just like sit on it. You're going to seek out and do it because of the Cirrus that's here, which is also similar to moon energy, and it satisfies a need that you have, a need with significant one-on-one relationships within friends and group energy and that 11th house stuff. Okay. The other thing that's popping out is your Venus, and this is what's how I love energy, love and desire, and what I am taking action with in terms of how I want to show love, how I want to feel love. Family comes up big time, but it's public energy. So what I love in this chart, family is really prominent. So anytime you hear me say moon, it's always also connecting to your greater family, which is humanity and working with the public. Like this comes up in a lot of ways. You have Jupiter at 0 freaking degrees, and Jupiter is your great benefic in your chart. This is about my beliefs. This is about travel, but this is spirituality and the definition of that, right? This is a person who has the ability to understand the past, the present, and the future, and to combine those together. Sagey energy. It's called, what do they call that? They're emotionally wise. And this is in your 7th house. So this would be partnerships. So this is beautiful. I think it's a great placement for partnerships, professional or personal. And the Venus energy is strong with that. Feminine energy, really strong. You have the 2 great benefics in Cancer energy. 2 great benefics. And what that means is benefits can come to you through partnerships. Benefits through your partnerships. You have vertex connected to your Venus, and this is kind of important here. This is fated energy. And again, Hibiscus has it at 22 degrees, boss energy. So whether it's you being the boss or energy that you have with other people where they have like a boss tone. Again, anytime you hear me say boss, think father figure energy as well. Anybody who's an authority figure in your life. There are wounds here. There are wounds. There's trauma here. And it goes back extremely far. It's generational energy, masculine energy, big time. And because it's conjunct Venus, it's wounds connected between, masculine and feminine energy. But mom energy, feminine energy, and tribal energy goes deep here. The 8th house is the trauma and the wounds, but the ability for the healing. And so, yes, this takes me to the healing energy and healing and working with the public. And I guess we can bring that full circle with the name that you have there, Hibiscus Healings. And that's a great placement for someone who has that as your name. It speaks to fated energy where you will be put in those positions of providing healing to people, especially feminine energy, and the ability to do that with the public. Okay. And to make money because Venus is there to make money. Yeah. House of other people's money. Cha-ching. right? 0 degrees sun, 0 degrees sun in Virgo, very meticulous, very detail orientated. And that's going to be, yeah. People who have a lot of Virgo tend to say their mind doesn't turn off, you know, and you have your Virgo in your ninth house, which can expand upon things, but it might be a blessing because it may make some of those details a little on the blurry side. And so a lot of this might come through as intuitions. But your Mercury that's in a retrograde means you really can really go deep, whether it's within communications, but it really can be quite internal, an internal conversation. And the detective, super detective of the Zodiac, you have it. You could do that for a living. Research, like you could, yeah, totally. You might get bored with it, and that's one of the things with strong Saggy and Aries energy is boredom sets in sometimes, and so we just would have to be careful with that. Um, I also have to mention real quick, and then this will be the last thing I think. This masculine energy in your seventh house, sibling energy is Gemini energy, okay? And sibling energy is third house energy. So this can mean like there's something interesting going on with sibling energy. Like I might not have siblings or I have siblings, but they don't exist or I don't see them or they're in another country or they're far away or the communication with them it's affected by Pisces, which can Pisces' job is to confuse. Its job is to assist us in seeing really clearly and to see the truth. It's to perfect our vision and our perceptions. So Pisces can make communications sometimes tricky. But what I want to end off with is that because your third house cusp line is in Aquarius, this gives you the ability to have very quick communications, lightning fast. Third house communication. You have Aquarius, very quick mind. So this can be tricky because in some instances you might feel like, oh God, my mind is just like bam, like it just comes right through. And at other times there might be like, it's a little cloudy. What the hell's going on? That can happen, right? Especially depending upon who you're talking with. It just might get a little wonky, right? But you have a strong card in here because the 16 degrees, if I look over here in air, you've got your north node at 16. And your third house is about social media. Yeah. And look, you have freaking astrology right there on your third house cusp line. Social media, devices, sharing information, learning. Oh my God, learning. Third house, learning and writing and communications is the third house. So the public comes up again. The moon and family and the public again, it's the past. It's so strong in your chart. But you have, like I said, this benefit because it's a nice, sweet, beautiful, strong trine between your third house cusp line and your north node, what your soul wants you to do for this lifetime. It's significant one-on-one relationships. It's very close to your Pluto. So this isn't so much about what your personality wants you to do. It is about the soul's energy and the commitments, the contracts, and what you agreed to do, what you want to do on that cellular level. And the North Node in Libra is that partnership. It's that bridge energy and it's working. Strong energy again. The moon comes up again. Same thing, but cooperation, and not looking out just for me, which, by the way, is your superpower in Aries, right? The soul energy says it's definitely about we. And you've got the power of Pluto backing you. Yes, they're 4 degrees apart, but you've got plenty of other objects that are close enough by degree, but yet it can be tricky. We'll have to talk about this at another time. This piece right here is called Nemesis. So it can be tricky because it trines that. It trines the Pluto energy. Yeah. But in general, hold on, my chart just is doing something weird. In general, the ability for communication and it to be clear communication when objects are moving in the sky at the right time in the right way, and if you learn to work with the Pisces energy, I think it can be a wonderful deliverer of information because Pisces energy is about unity and oneness, and it wants to be harmonious. And we think of even poetry and poetic with Pisces energy. And you have that in the house of writing and communications, writing music, writing plays. It's entertainment, even, and the silver screen, like that's Pisces energy. Yes, it's drugs and addictions and all that too, but we find healthy ways to communicate, healthy ways to express, especially Pisces, which is the hidden and the subconscious stuff. Yeah, this can be wonderful. This can be an opportunity to provide a lot of healing and understanding. And it looks like, yeah, you should be working on some level with not just your family and your tribe, but the public as well. Whatever you feel comfortable with. Okay, there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. Come back anytime. Oh, you couldn't see any movement on the chart. I'm just reading your comment. I'm so sorry. What the heck? Really? So I'm drawing on a chart this whole time and wow, it had the wrong chart on the screen. Oh, son of a oh, what the hell? Oh my god. Are you serious? What the frick? You know what? I knew something was weird when I started it because I said it had me. I grabbed a chart and it was totally, oh, it's not, what is going on? Oh, I feel like, oh my God, this is that glitchy crap I have. Oh man, I'm talking, going on, and the shit ain't even on the screen. Holy crap. Well, hold on. Yeah, we're going to go to the next person, but I have to figure this crap out now. Why is this? This isn't good. Oh, there it is. Oh my God. Well, there's all the marks I made. Holy. Oh man, I hate when that happens. I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, well, there's all the marks I made. What I can do is I'll hold on to this. I'll save this. Yeah, I know it's after the fact, but I'll have this live stream up on the channel. So I can send you this chart. You send me an email, I can send you the chart. And then yeah, you can be like, oh, this must have been what she was talking about. I so apologize. Damn. Yeah, we got the moon, we got all that stuff. Son of a bee. Frick. Okay. Yep. Yep. There's always something. Always some damn thing. Thank you for letting me know that that was not happening, that it wasn't working. Oh my God. I'm not happy about that. All right, let me see. Okay, Sinister Days. I think you're up next. I see you sent a gift. What am I looking at, Sinister Days? Did you have something in particular? Let me go find the chat. Hibiscus, I hope that helped a little bit or that it was ah man. Sinister Days said just whatever you can see. Okay, I like that. You gotta love that, right? All right, let me save this chart in case. Okay, let's get Sinister Days chart on the screen. Whoo-wee. Okay. All right, Sinister, let's see what kind of jumps out. It's been a minute since since I've seen you. I can't remember. Sometimes people's charts kind of stick in my head, but I'm really let's get this on the screen. Did you want the link, Sinister Day, since you sent a gift to the channel? Let me put this here in case you want this link. Yeah, it gives you an opportunity to have a back and forth with me if that's what you want. Let's get your chart on the screen. Hold on a second. I tell you, when stuff lines up in my chart and it gives me a hard time with the tech, oh my God, it just does a doozy on me. And I have been in tech hell for like the last few weeks. Yeah. But luckily, it's all kind of oddly like, yeah, I got taffy at the door. All right, Sinister Days. So, yeah, your Mars is kind of jumping right out. Your Mars is up here and oh, I know why your Mars is jumping out. That makes sense. Okay. So, yeah, 10th house energy, career. You have, wow, okay. There's a lot going on in Capricorn right now. And everything is up there getting close to your 10th, your career and your goals and your future. And that can be very serious energy, as the last 24 hours and the full moon yesterday showed us. Very serious things occurred, right? Very serious energy. And it's motivated by the long term and what my long-term plan is and long-term goals are. So this Mars energy will take action at your midheaven. I love that you have a Mars in Capricorn. Mars is very disciplined in Capricorn. It's actually probably one of the I would prefer myself if I could have a Mars in Capricorn. That would be wonderful. Because otherwise Mars is like a loose cannon, but not in Capricorn. It is very disciplined. It's following a plan. It's following orders, as I say. Which, yeah, we saw exactly how that works out. So you're 19, 18, 19 degrees, taking action with the long term, and you're going to have your Mars return is beginning. You see this Mars? I just turned the second chart on. Hope it's not too crazy. Let me see if she jumped in the studio. She didn't. Okay. Yeah, no problem. You've got, you see this right now tonight, folks? Venus at 13, the sun at 13. So these are conjunct, right? It's very long-term thinking energy. Like, yes, this is going to be about my future. I am trying to establish long-term material financial stability. The sticks and the bricks, the stuff I can hold in my hand. I'm working at my job because I'm trying to get that new car or that house or that second house, right? Like it's tangible, material, tangible goals. Okay. And your Mars is going to be getting a return with the Mars up in the sky. So this starts a new 2-year cycle for you. New goals, taking action on new goals. And I again, you've got Earth in the first house. This is quite nice. It's supportive. Because Mars in Cappy is really strong, has good energy. It takes Mars's energy of having just a little bit of energy and can extend it because Saturn rules time. Cappy's all about time. So it can extend Mars's flame. Instead of it burning out right away, it can make it last a little bit longer. And this is relationship energy, by the way. I think we may have talked about this before with you. Oh, well, you just got off of a south node on Isis on the wounds. Okay, but something reigniting. Was there work maybe, but even in a relationship, maybe the possibility of an old relationship reigniting, like a romantic thing, possibly. I see down here in the 5th house with the south node running through there, so the past kind of can come back. Childhood play, fun, and this Mars is kind of part of that because it's exactly trining some of this energy and the sun and Venus and love and thinking very long-term and serious. And your Mars is at serious relationships, but career also, other than just like the love stuff. It's job and career. Now, I also want to talk about this Jupiter that's popping out because I see it's retrograding for you and you have this at the opposition of your midheaven. So it's about to touch your 4th house cusp line of emotions and family and feelings. I don't know about everybody else, but for myself, this Jupiter, especially this Jupiter today, yesterday even. Oh my God, the Jupiter at 21 degrees and really just going over the top with emotions. Holy crap! I mean, I've had to be super focused on not allowing it to go there for myself because it's been the last 24 hours have been over the top for me, and this could be this way for you because this Jupiter is touching your fourth house cusp line of emotions. It's a retrograding Jupiter, and Jupiter adds to things, right? It could also add to family, by the way, add to feminine energy. This could also be a placement of, adding to my family, and, maybe somebody's moving in, maybe someone's going to have a baby. It can be that kind of energy as well. That's Cancer energy. That's kind of like when the soul enters in to the body and meets up with some other energy, and they kind of decide, yeah, let's get together, we're going to make a physical baby type of thing. It's before the physical part comes into play. So this is interesting energy right now. We're talking Scorpio stuff. We're talking the history, the past, deeply bonded energy. It's really strong. So having this in opposition to your Mars and taking action, whether it's a career or a marriage, like this would be that kind of thing. It's pretty serious stuff. It's not, especially with Jupiter at 20 degrees, very serious and bonded energy. There can be some traumas that come up and some stuff from the past and from history. You have a lot of water in your seventh house too, and that's wow. Okay, so maybe what you're doing is just processing a whole lot of that as well, processing the stuff that happened in the past with that masculine Mars energy that's up there. But I want to give you a heads up that as Jupiter, when it stops at 15 and goes forward, it's going to start talking to some of the new and exciting energy and that you have in your seventh house for partnerships. The Uranus energy, the Venus energy, Jupiter's going to get, we all have this timeline where June's going to come around and we're going to have Jupiter at the end of Cancer energy. And it's going to be connecting with new love, new desires, and partnerships for you. Exciting and new. Different might even be on the table. Maybe it's somebody older, even possibly. If you're already in a committed relationship, if you're married, I apologize that I don't remember because I think we talked slightly about something like this before. But if you're already in a committed relationship, then this may be an urge for somebody to have a desire for something different. Now, it's a short-term thing. Anytime we see Uranus in the chart, remember, somebody just needs a break. Someone just needs a little getaway. You follow? And so that would be important to remember because it's your seventh house, but it would also be whoever that significant other is. And if it's in your seventh, you may, somebody different and new and exciting. They can be younger, they could be older. They may appeal to you because it's connecting with your Venus of desires. You follow? So this is coming in really strongly right now because in your chart, you have Uranus in this strong opposition with your natal Uranus. And gosh, I wonder, I'm thinking we must have talked about this. I've just been looking at way too many charts. I really don't remember. But I am sure we've discussed that your Uranus opposing Uranus is freedom, different, independent. Like I need freedom. I need to do my own thing, right? Let me see if you have something that can help this. I know the Mars is disciplined, so that's good. And you're starting a new 2-year cycle, so maybe let me see if you have anything angling this really quickly, because an angle to that would have at least made it a little challenging, and that might be a good thing at a time like this, having a little bit of friction where it doesn't make Yeah, when we've been in something committed, because Saturn, okay, is in the 12th, Pisces is there. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. So, because you have a point in your chart that talks about new beginnings and it's squaring this Uranian energy, this could even be maybe you already started something new and there's some stress and some tension. And it's that new thing where it's like, oh crap, this isn't going as planned. There's a strong T square here. Yeah. And it's your emotions in your home, but also family, group energy, and friends. It's more unconventional stuff, authority figures, even. And it can really make this a little tricky. So, authority figures, again, can be the boss, can be you being the boss of your own life, can be a spouse, okay? Can be dad energy or anybody who thinks they have authority over you or that you give your authority to. Your ninth house doesn't begin until 25. So everything is now in your ninth. So in your eighth house, that might have been a time of, yeah, that might have been a time where you were saying, I'm releasing and letting go. Yeah. There would have been a good healing that occurred. And I'm praying that this gave you some sort of an assistance because with your Saggy all in the eighth, and I know that can be strong energy, um, maybe you had the ability to talk and to sort things out and to come to an understanding with the past. Because this is what that would have been for you. But see, we're moved on now. Now we're making plans. Now we're moving towards the future. Now we've got Juno and partnerships and Mercury talking. Yeah, this is a nice combination for making goals for the future. Absolutely. So let me see what your node is at really quick before I move away from this, because I guess I've got, okay, it is at 11. Okay. Woo wee. All right. So you have the nodes. Yeah, we have the North Node in Pisces over here. And so this is or I should say it was this uncomfortable quincunx energy. And it was right on your fifth house cusp line, but it's emotions, but it can have to do with children. It can have to do with a romantic partner. It's in Leo energy. And whenever we have that kind of energy, because this is the past, right? This would have been all of November. When we have that kind of energy, it's an irritation and we kind of have to make a decision. We got to do something. When we got to itch, we got to do something. We got to take an action. We got to get rid of it. And so, yeah, your 11 degrees might have done something kind of surprising and shocking. Yeah. So with this, wow, I'm just looking at this and there's more and more here. You've got another object at 11, which I didn't notice in Libra. And oh my gosh. Okay, part of property. Again, unconventional and different energy. Your Mars cycle, this is where this all began. You're taking action going forward, and it's definitely just a strong focus on what you're going to be doing for the long term. It's a very sobering energy. I mean, a very sobering energy. So serious because it's in the 10th house. Duty, responsibilities. And when your Mars leaves Capricorn for all of us, we all have to be extra cautious because it's then going to go into Aquarius. And that mixture of fiery Mars with airy, as in the wind, air, Aquarius, think of fire and air mixed together. It's like the rocket boosters themselves. It's extremely unpredictable. And I'm mentioning this for you because you've got the South Node at 11 there, and Mars will touch on that. Okay. So I want you to have this timeline and it is February 3rd. So maybe even the Monday before, maybe even the weekend the Saturday, Sunday, that weekend prior to February 3rd, you're going to have Mars come in close contact with your release and your let go energy of that South Node. Like, that was my superpower. These were, this was, whether it was a partner, whether it was professional relationship, whether it was, you know, yeah, there's something there with authority figures and Mars and taking action. Okay. So be cautious. Don't do anything that week, literally, like that window, February 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. Just force yourself to kind of take a little bit of a back seat if you haven't thought things through and had a conversation first with other people to bounce ideas off them before you take action. Mars will not be patient. Mars will not wait. Mars will not hesitate. Mars will leap off the goddamn building into the air without looking. So you're just being careful with your long-term goals and how Mars is going to be unbelievably impulsive. Okay, so I hope that helps. I know, I mean, like, yeah, I kind of had to understand the past and this new Mars cycle to kind of give a fuller picture of the story here. And it looks like you're definitely making some changes and going to be taking action with them. Okay, I see there's somebody who picked up the link, and the link is for the person who was next in line and who gifted the channel. The link is only for those who gift the channel. And if they are next in line, then I grab them. And is Dusty Blue next in line? And did Dusty Blue send a gift to the channel? Let me scroll through this real quick here. So I don't see a Dusty Blue on the list. Donna Marie must have passed. Okay, Sinners of Teamwork. Is Teamwork passing? Teamwork, are you here? You want to look at your chart, Teamwork? Christy's passing. And then Stacy. So if Teamwork isn't passing, then Stacy, you're up next. Happy New Year, Gibson. I didn't even get to say Happy New Year to really anybody. I was asleep by like 9 o'clock. Yeah, I can't do all that crazy stuff. Okay, Teamwork is passing, it says. Christy's passing. Stacy, you're up. Okay. Did she write a new list? She did. Okay, so Stacy, it's you. Going once, going twice. Are you still here? I know you are. You're busy doing all that work. Yeah, give them the number. That's a good idea. Just give everybody a number. Frank, and Frank's passing. All right, Stacy, are you ready? Let me get your chart. Let me get this off the screen. Let's get Stacy up here. Okay, Stacy. All right, I got you. Let's see if it works. What my financial outlook look like for January. Okay, that was easy. She's like, there you go. Okay, got you. All right, excellent. Yes, Happy New Year. Stacy said, I'm here. Finances, damn it. All right, let's get that on the screen. Okay. All right, let's remove this one real quick. And let me see your... Oh, okay. Right. You've got the Venus and the North Node that are going to be getting aspected. You also have a Jupiter and Saturn midpoint at 19 degrees. So Mars is getting close to the trine on that. But look, this is a big point, and you must have been looking at this like, oh, what the hell is this going to be? You've got this Uranus and your midheaven and the Pluto stuff, right? And this is the right chart, right? I mean, I know we've changed charts multiple times. I can't keep track. 6:06 p.m. This puts the 10th house with your Pluto and your Uranus energy. And that matters, right? Some folks might be like, well, what does this have to do with anything? Well, the current energy puts all this Capricorn energy down here, which is a beautiful trine, a nice trine to your Pluto, to your Uranus, to your 10th house cusp line of thinking of my future and money. Here comes Venus, right? And this might be a little tricky for all of us right now with the Venus and the sun being conjunct. Venus will eventually come out of this, but not until February, where she's in front of the sun. And so we have a clear understanding of our money and our finances then. But because Venus is combust right now with the sun, that might be a little on the tricky side. She kind of disappears. Her energy of money and income and harmony and desires gets a little bit covered up, for sure. And it's Venus talking to your Venus. Oh, okay. So let me move this forward a little bit for you. Because when that Venus talks to your Venus, she's still going to be combust with the sun. She's at, this is 1 week ahead. Now here comes Mercury. Okay. So are you doing something new, Stacy? Are you having something new occur where you know you're going to have an increase of income? You do have Uranus in your 7th house of partnerships. So if you're doing something with partnerships, you've got the two Venuses there where this is sitting together. And then you've got, partnerships may bring something beneficial, but you definitely have this powerful Uranus Pluto stuff where they're all ticking the boxes. And it's in your 2nd house of money and income with the Capricorn stuff. So this is that long-term stuff. Is there like a contract or something new that you're redoing? Is it that kind of a thing? Because 7th house is that contract kind of stuff. And in terms of, let me see here. You've got that there, 25. This is next week. Okay. Do you have anything at 3? No, you don't there. Okay. Well, unless you're planning on, let me look at your Jupiter real quick. Because that's one of your greater benefics there. Yeah, 10 degrees. Okay, Jupiter goes back to 15. Let me see if you get a little boost with anything with that. No, not there. So what I see is when Jupiter goes backwards and it's going to get to 15, it is going to send it's going to angle your 5th house of children, fun and romance and dating and mating and relating and friendships and significant relationships and contracts and Libra energy and group energy. That is going to happen. Jupiter will go back and touch on that. And it is a square though. So it creates a T-square, which is typically stress and tension. However, because Jupiter is your great benefic and it's a Jupiter in Cancer energy, there might be the opportunity for another, maybe some gifts, maybe a love connection or interest or some fun. It's a very social energy. Okay. Very social energy. The Capricorn stuff though has us thinking very long-term and serious. I want to send a word of caution. This is just 1 week out. You've got Venus conjunct your Salacia here. And I know I mentioned her before and she's coming up again. It is about my long-term financial security, and in that placement, the only problem is Celestia has on the rose-colored glasses, right? She can be a little fuzzy on what she's seeing in terms of the long haul. But because Venus is still going to be combust the sun, technically, things are either going to stay the same as they are, but I don't necessarily see like something that brings like a, ooh, I won the lottery type thing. Or, you know, I'm getting a new job, unless you are getting a new job, right? Unless you're doing something that, but yeah, beneficial energy, new exciting energy, because you'll have relationship energy. So there might be a little bit of something like that that happens for you. And Venus will be entering your third house, and it's Venus, although she is still combusted the sun. The third house is communications, and your third house cusp line is at 2 degrees of money. So there can be a surprise, possibly a gift of some sort, because it's Venus. And she might even get a little bit of a boost from Pluto, which would suggest history, the past, someone maybe you're bonded with in a soulful way, even if, yeah, there's a connection of some sort because of the Pluto energy. It can bring that about because you got Pluto sitting at 3 and your second house cusp at 2. The love connection, desires, my money, my money, my money. And I got to remember your Juno's up there. So maybe might be getting something from, if there is a romantic interest. I mean, I don't know. But that's kind of, yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing here. That if there's anything, it might be kind of like that. Because you got Neptune sitting on your responsibilities and duties and your long-term goals and your finances, your tangible stuff, your Saturn in Pisces. Yeah, you've got Neptune sitting right on it. So I don't necessarily see where, yeah, unless you're, I mean, yeah, I'm saying maybe a friend or a partner or just a benefit, I know recently I've been very beneficial and the channel's going to benefit. You guys are going to see it. I had some very serious gifts to the channel recently. And with those serious gifts, it will amp up my ability to record more videos and to actually be able to be more hands-on and available for classes and stuff like that. Yeah, I had a couple of folks who made some very generous gifts to the channel. So I will be able to get an additional device. Oh my God, Allastrology will have its own device instead of me bebopping back and forth. Although I'll still need to do editing out there, but holy crap. So yeah, I didn't have an income. I didn't create it, but whoa, somebody gave me, yeah, I got gifted some serious stuff. So that was nice. Very nice. So I hope this helps. Someone said they might help pay for something. Okay. There you go. Someone said they will help pay for our recent vacation. Okay. Jupiter. That's Jupiter. That's Jupiter. Yeah. Hopefully you'll have to give us an update. You'll have to come back and let us know. Yep. Absolutely. Well, there is benefit in the chart written for sure by somebody else. Somebody else comes in. Yeah, Juno is present for sure, and we'll have eventually Venus trining Venus too. But yeah, I think it's more of a probability with Venus touching your third house cusp line actually because of her combust. All right, let me get to the next person. I hope that helped. And you probably already looked at it. Okay, so who is next in line here? Let me go find that chart. She had another chart already, actually. Let's roll along here. I'm changing careers that will offer more money. and better future. Oh, Sinister Days. I'm sorry. I didn't even read any of your stuff. I just rolled right along. Ashley Jason. Hello, hello, hello. Bruce McAllister. Hey, Bruce, what's going on? Yeah, I do have Bruce's stuff. Hey, Bruce, how the hell are you doing? Good to see you. I'm assuming you got that email. Yeah, where we got things figured out, hopefully. So, where's this other list at? I must have lost it already. All right, we got to go to the next person. Hmm. Gibson. Where's Gibson at? Yay, Gibson. How are you? Whatever you can see, G, thank you again. Happy New Year. Gibson, are you okay? Like, just tell me everything's okay. Maybe you already said that. I just want to make sure you're all right. Like, seriously. I kept thinking, oh, good. I mean, I really kind of felt like you were okay, but I just thought, I didn't get to say Merry Christmas, Happy, like nothing. I'm like, oh my God. I'm glad you're super great. I always think, man, that new baby's keeping her ass busy. All right. Well, it's good for people who will come by and who are normally around. And then when they are so all of a sudden not there, it's like, oh, is everything okay? And yeah, people do exactly that. They'll just check in and be like, hey, how are you? And then we know everybody's okay. Let me go find it. Gibson. Gibson is here. Gibson's next. Yeah. I got to go find the G's, man. This list is so long. I'm stuck in the M's. Whew. All right, it's coming. So we're just looking at years then. Wow, Gibson, we got a lot here for you. Here we go. They all have your first name. Wow. Super great. That's great. Okay. Is it on the screen? There we go. What's going on with Gibson? You know what? Let's look at the chart and find out. That'll tell us everything we need to know. Oh, holy shit. Gibson had, oh, okay. Oh, Gibson, you had the South Node on your Pluto, and then the South Node conjunct your ninth house cusp line. Okay, that ninth house can be travel, but it can also be my beliefs and learning. Yeah. It is strong domestic energy, but being the boss kind of there too. And Pluto brings a lot of power to that energy. I swear it feels like it's been a long time since I've seen this chart. And wow, the freaking oh my God, that's right. You got all this Capricorn in your first house. Holy crap. Gibson and the matriarch energy. That's right. South Node, Sirius and the moon. Holy shit. Okay, so you've got all this that was on all of that. Big time stuff going on. You have Saturn in the third house. It's a little restrictive on communication. Saturn can slow things down because, you know, your third house is the social media stuff, right? Writing and communication. So you're going to have Saturn here for a little bit of time. The main thing is really these nodes. See this? North node sitting on the third house cusp line, but now it's sitting in your second house of values. And it was on your natal Saturn. Oh no, that's 1 degrees. Okay, I just got too much in this damn chart. Yeah, it was sitting there on that values, so restrictions, but goals and working towards the future, especially with what you value, group energy. But Pisces is so sacrificial. It can be very sacrificial with those that I love, those that I'm close to, and the things that I desire. Okay. So eventually, Eventually, this node is gonna be on that Saturn. That's a little bit of time off. That's not until around yeah, that's not gonna be until June. At that time, you that node and your Saturn are gonna be very focused on the group, very focused on understanding and probably receiving more information. What do you have in Virgo at that low degrees? Nothing. Okay. Let me see if you have anything that's going to be squaring that. Gibson, I'm sorry. I just started looking at your chart. I didn't even ask you if you wanted me to look at something in particular. Ain't that the truth? Oh, good. Yeah, when you have a lot of stuff in that first house, it will give you that ability to focus on self because what's going to happen is the Saturn in the North Node, like duties and responsibilities become paramount again, right? So you kicked it up a notch. So I would absolutely advise you to take this break while you can because you'll have the North Node trining your natal North Node. Again, family comes up again and home. It's at 5 degrees, so children. Does that make sense for Gibson? Absolutely. 5 degrees. Oh, wow. Yeah. Did you even look at this? Yeah, you're going to have the North Node. Let me get there for you so that you can. This will be before it touches on your Saturn, where your duties and responsibilities are ramped up a notch. So this is going to give you, oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, the nodes sit at like 9 and 8 degrees. 8 degrees, they sit there for a nice amount of time. So this might give you a good respite. Yeah. Yeah, you see how the nodes are still at 8 degrees and we're in March already? It's insane. Okay, so it's going to be Mercury and Mars together, though. And so I'm feeling like end of March going into April. End of March going into April. This North Node in partnerships, in your partnership with family. Yes, it can be spouse, love interest. It can be that. And if it's a love interest because it's at 5 degrees in romance, that can be a thing too, for sure. And if it is, this is going to have some history to it. It's going to have all the feels. That's what that means. It's the Cancer energy. So even if it's not somebody that you were previously romantic with or connected to in that way, or even professionally, it will be someone where those soulful connections are in place. Yeah, but it's strong feminine energy. It's strong feminine energy and tribal energy. So let me see here. I think what's going to be important is your Uranus. And this is March, end of March, going into April. Your Uranus gets dinged by the South Node here. So the South Node it brings in like superpower energy, all right? So you're going to have this ability to be really, because it's kind of shock and surprise energy and very different, very unique, very original. So it can be more authority figure energy. It is domestic, right? But there's something here about wounds in the past with this kind of energy. And with the South Node there being a release and the 8th house also being a release and possibly a healing with some domestic energy and somebody who was an authority figure. So again, authorities can be husbands, can be fathers, can be bosses, right? But it was domestic, right? So it screams, soul history. So there's the possibility for a good release and a healing. And you normally get them as, you get like these great swaths of understanding for you. So that's great. And hopefully that energy will be like just what you needed for your downtime because it gives you more of a deeper psychological dive into just, how I don't know, when we get busy, we put ourselves on the back shelf, right? And we're all focused on whoever or whatever. But this will be an opportunity to focus on you and some of the stuff that hasn't been processed yet, and to talk about it, by the way, because all the planets are cruising through Aries and it's in your third house. So communication will be big again. Writing and talking will be big again as all the planets start venturing. Again, this is end of March going into April. Okay. So I don't know if that was your thing. Okay, that's good. That's great. Okay. Well, yeah, I just didn't know if you had a specific thing. Yep. Oh yeah, you're the queen of working on self for sure. Absolutely, amiga. Absolutely. Um yeah. Well, I hope it gives you a little bit of insight of what's coming through over the next couple of months for you. But just for everybody listening, like I want you to let me pop this on really quick and then we'll go to the next person. In this chart, and by the way, who is the next person? In this chart, if you look at the energies for this time, this is the first week of April, like the first 10 days, you have Juno and Pluto getting really close together. You see this? Juno's at 3 partnerships. And it's exciting and new, but it's connecting with Pluto, which is like it's new, but it's actually old. It's new, but there's actually this deep connection here. You follow? So if we have objects, and by the way, you kind of have some stuff. You have a Jupiter Pluto midpoint at 7 degrees. And so for anybody else, if you have objects in air where that connection can occur, again, these connections don't always have to be romantic because it can signify that there was a romantic thing at another time, even, a simultaneous time that we're going through, like, but not consciously, like this alternative reality, even however you want to look at it. There's just, yeah, complex energy when we meet people and when we have all those vibrational connections and we feel like, oh, this is what's supposed to be happening, but not always. It's not, sometimes it's just a glimpse into whether it's the past or or this other world, other realm, however you want to look at it, whatever you want to call it. Bruce is next. Oh, yay. All right, let me go check something real quick. So Bruce is here. And the last time Bruce was here, we did not get to look at the correct chart for Bruce. Was one of those nights. It's one of those freaking technology nightmare nights. I drew up a Bruce for chart and I talked and talked and talked. Bruce sent me a generous gift and I talked, and lo and behold, yeah. So Bruce, I'm assuming you survived. You survived the full moon. I believe that was the big concern. Let me see if I can get Bruce's chart on this thing. Let's double check it too while we're at it. Oh, what the hell? Hold on, my phone just did something weird and I'm trying to... Okay, there we go, so I can see. Okay, let me get Bruce on here and let's... There we go. February 25th, 1964. He said, yes, I survived. Okay, good. I was able to cheat and look on that phone real quick. All right. So let's do a double check on this, Bruce. And you can confirm before I say a word, before I whisper. I can't remember what software I was on when I had to make... I've had a lot of tech issues like this anyway. So Is the 9 degrees of Sagittarius correct? It's not, right? That means that I corrected it on the other software in the other room. So it's the birth time. This one is at 1:36 a.m. What should it be at? Let me double check what he's saying. Is that right? Saggy at 9? Oh, it is correct. Okay, excellent. Got it. Whew. I must have ran in here and took care. Because we had a private live stream last week. Yeah, I'm like really out of the loop. I feel like I haven't seen you guys or your charts in like forever. I don't, yeah, it just seems like a long time. I don't know why. Time is moving so damn fast. Okay, spectacular. So you survived it. You survived the full moon. And the full moon, for anybody who doesn't know, right? We had that 13 degrees full moon. So you had the full moon conjunct the 8th house cusp line. So maybe there was some reflection on the past, family and emotions, feminine energy, females in your life. Yeah. Because it was in the 8th, though, that usually signifies maybe some traumas in the past, but some healing. But it could have been tricky because it's deeply psychological. So there might have been a little bit of processing stuff that you're like, where the hell is this from? Sometimes that can be that way. Yeah. So what I know it was all about. Okay, good. I was just like, what did you want me to take a peek at? Because Gibson said, I've been getting worked for upcoming relationship collaborations with sold a lot of pieces. Oh, Gibson, that is so exciting. I'm so glad to hear that. Bruce says, curious about the T Capricorn stellium in my second house opposite T Jupiter in the 8th, while also close to my natal south. So basically the birth chart we're talking about, right? And the Jupiter. Okay. 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 Yeah. So anything that's going to be squaring, we're going to go to right now so we can see this. I know this is just going to make it like crazy. But yeah, you got Jupiter riding through your 8th house. And at the 20 degrees, you just came off of a Jupiter squaring, right? Okay, so you had it squaring your 5th and your 11th, and now it's Jupiter squaring Jupiter. You see this? And the Venus is connected to it. And that's, I believe, Capricorn stellium in my second. Yeah. Yep. All this right now. Let me see what you have natally in Capricorn. So Jupiter's at 20. You have this at 21. Jupiter's going backwards. In Capricorn, you don't have anything at 19, 18, 17, 16, 15. And that's where Jupiter stops at 15 degrees. So right now, you're in this energy, and T squares normally represent stress and tension. 4th house is where you have your Venus and your Jupiter. And Venus is my desires, taking action with my desires, with what I want to do in the home, 4th house. Now, 4th house is also family, right? But Aries is really independent. Aries is like, it can be combative. I mean, I think you're very fortunate you have the 2 great benefics together here. I think this is a huge gift. You have them together. And Venus is your great benefic. So this can add to something beautiful. Even a Jupiter square they talk about in a very beautiful way. Normally, Venus can be feisty and will fight, but because she's conjunct the Jupiter energy, you could have a much wiser Venus. A plain old Venus in Aries, it's shiny. That's her. Ooh, it's new, it's exciting. She desires that, right? And if it's once the polish wears off, once it's not, it's like a little kid opens a Christmas gift, right? Opens the wrappings and the bows and whatever the hell, and pulls the toy out, looks at it, plays with it for 5 minutes, and then they never pick it up again. But your Venus is a little wiser than that because she's conjunct Jupiter, you see? And that's what Jupiter brings, the wisdom. And so this Jupiter up here is having conversations with your Jupiter and your Venus over here. Now, again, you have 21 degrees in Cappy, but after that you don't. So this is kind of it. It's not that big of a deal. But in the home and with family, especially with feminine energy, because Aries is really aggressive and assertive, I'm thinking your Jupiter and your Venus, I'm thinking this is energy that's used to create. And I think that's great. It can be a teacher because that's Jupiter, the teacher, the one who publishes their stuff. And if we don't publish it like writing a book, well, however you create and get your stuff out there, or maybe it's simply the Aries energy and the Venus and the creative vibe of I'm teaching it. It can be that too. Great example. Like for me right now, by transit, Jupiter is going through my third house. Well, yeah, I'm holding astrology classes on Zoom now. Like I literally just started it. Not that I haven't thought about teaching before and creating like a teaching thing, like a little astrology kind of lesson class, but now I'm to the degree where it's like, no, I will be hands-on, like present and there and answering questions and going step by step like you would in a little schoolhouse type of thing. And that's Jupiter energy. And that's in my third house, the house of teaching. Yours is in the fourth though. So could this be you? I don't know, because Jupiter can have to do with music as well. You could be creative in a lot of different ways. I mean, look, you have Neptune at 29 and Saturn sitting there at 26, but they're in your fourth house. So you have a combination of multiple things sitting in your fourth house. Saturn can be work, right? Saturn can add to duty and responsibilities, but what it is that, that I want to work hard at. Saturn sustains us. It keeps us working at it because Aries needs that energy. Aries peters out pretty quickly. The trine, I'm sorry, the square from Cappy is by the transits. But because you don't have anything really at the 17 and 19 degrees, I don't see this as being a huge thing. I see it just as you having to compromise or something, or maybe being easily irritated by something. But I'm not overly concerned because you have Jupiter. You have Jupiter connecting with your Venus. To be honest, and if it's anything, it's going to be all this stuff in Capricorn that, yes, it's coming along 13, 13, and 15. And yes, it's squaring your Venus, but it's also getting a square from Jupiter, you see? So I'm not overly concerned about this for you. Not at all. Now, maybe you're thinking maybe this is money and income. Okay, it can be money and income because that is also Venus. And Venus going, this is, I guess, what would concern me more is the Cazimi Venus going through your second house. That's a bigger deal, but I don't think that would become a real issue, especially if you don't already know about it, because it would have something that would have already come to light for you. Like if there was going to be a slowdown or a delay in work or income when it, like when it started coming through at 12 degrees. Now, let's move it up a little bit. Let's go to Mercury, and because Mercury's going to enter. See, now here's Mercury entering the picture, entering the money. She's now sitting in your second house, January 10th. Okay. Venus is still conjunct. Yeah, we still have this Cazimi. Here's a beautiful thing of this deep connection. We've got Mercury and Mars and the Sun and Venus and a whole slew of 3 other things that we've got there. There is a teaching that when we have 5 or more objects, planets, points, luminaries, when we have 5 or more objects in a sign, that it takes on a spiritual action, a spiritual goal, a spiritual thing I'm working towards building in Capricorn, something that you value. And that's the teaching. So you let me know if that's how it turns out for you. At this time, too, a week out, you'll have the Venus touching some of the other later degree objects that you have, and Jupiter will still be in the same spot. Jupiter can provide a bubble of protection. That's what Jupiter does for our solar system. It really oscillates in a way where it works like this big angelic bubble. All right, so Venus goes to 0. Venus is your great benefic. Let me see. I'm trying to see if the nodes are going to become a factor for you because you have objects in here. And let me see where this Chiron in Pisces is. It's at 13. Okay, that already got aspected. And there's your sun. What's that at? 5 degrees. Okay. So that's going to be a little time off before the sun gets there. But the sun is our recognition, how we're seen. And the fact that you're going to have the sun going through your second house of income, I think that is definitely a saving grace for you. Venus rules the second house of money and income, and you'll have the sun traveling through there. So the sun may burn up the Venus energy, but at the same time, your work, your duty, your responsibility, your ability to make money, the sun is still traveling through the second house of money, money, money. So, yeah. Maybe the concern will be the South Node trining the South Node. Did you see that? Yeah, that's what's going on. South Node up in the sky is going to be trining your South Node. So again, this might come down to you incorporating and making a change yourself. You saying, I want to release something, I'm ready to move on. That might be the thing too that you'll be looking at and debating. It's a South Node trying a South Node. And releasing whatever your current goal is. Sometimes it's our profession and our career. Maybe like, oh, do I really want to keep doing this? Am I ready to retire? Like, that's the kind of energy that I see. So I hope that helps. Let's see what we got. All right. Who's next? 9:39. We're moving along. Great, I guess. I was concerned about finances with all the second, eighth. I would love to move to a new home. Well, Aries gets bored. Yeah, you do have the Venus there, and the fact that you'll be doing a south node thing. It's work, it's domestic energy, it's the beliefs about your future, home and family. Let me see, the 4th house. You do have something at 0 in Aries. What is that? Or is that 0? Yeah, that's 0 in Aries. No, it's not. It's 24. My bad. All right. So you do have Isis at 3 degrees in Aries. Isis is about a transformation. So you've got her there in your 3rd house. Now, when Saturn and Neptune get there, maybe that will provide that change in the home, because the Isis energy talks about something that is kind of, she rejuvenated, she brought back to life her husband. Her husband was killed and she brought him back to life. So even if you're not literally moving, there might be something that you're doing as far as maybe, I don't know, material, tangible, building, changing things up within the home, because that's Aries in the house. Always got to be moving shit around. They're very active in the home. It gets bored with things. And so that might provide the opportunity for that then. But yeah, that's going to be a little, that will be closer. Yeah, further into February, March. Okay? Yep. You are welcome. Yeah, the Cazimi, um, if you didn't Bruce, I'm telling you, because your Venus is sitting next to Jupiter, I think that I think that, yeah, you're truly freaking fortunate to have that. I think that Jupiter always protects the Venus energy. That's how I feel about that. Okay, so Ashley Jackson. Ashley Jackson. Okay, I would need your birth digits. Are they here somewhere? Let me go check the email. Let's move along here. Nope, nothing. Nothing in the email. So, unless you have been here before, but it's under a different name, that's a really good possibility. Is that the thing? Oh, yeah, you're welcome, Bruce. Yep, you're welcome. I have them. Are they under the name Ashley Jackson? Oh, great. I'm sorry. She's like, you have them. Okay. Oh, so it would be under Ashley Jason. Okay. Oh, it does say Jason. Why was I saying Jackson? All right, let's get you there. Let's go find Ashley. Wow, must have been a minute since I looked at this. It doesn't even ring a bell to me. Maybe it was somebody I looked at really quickly. Thank you, Stacy, for all the. Oh my lord, here it is. I love it. It's here. Yay! Awesome. Okay, let me get this extra chart off and let's get this going here. Oh, great. Oh, I don't have it on the screen. That might help. There you go. Bam. Yay. Yeah, if anybody's just tuning in, we started our live stream at 8 o'clock. We're going to be starting the live streams, running them from 8 to 10 p.m. That's the first and the third Saturday of every month. I just realized I didn't kind of like announce these things. The second Saturday of every month will be our astrology class, and tonight is the deadline for those who want to be involved in the very first ever Zoom astrology class. That will be next Saturday. So let me kind of back this up again. The first and the third Saturdays, live stream here on YouTube. The second Saturdays, that's the private astrology classes on Zoom. You got to email me to get in on that. The fourth Saturdays are the private lives. They're also on Zoom, and you have to send me an email to get in on that. These things are private. They're not gigantic. They're meant to be on the small side. So, yeah, if that's something that appeals to you and you don't want to be looking at your chart and with strangers looking at your stuff, and maybe there's some things that other people can chat with you about in a small group, and some people find a lot of support that way. The beauty of astrology is it puts us all on the same playing field. It really does. And to me, that is healing within itself, instead of all the judgment and all the disappointment and the expectations that we have on ourselves and others. And then you look at the chart and it's like, oh, well, shit, they were born that way. you know, it can just take a whole level of craziness out of your life. All right. So I'm sure I just made things really confusing, but you can always email me if you have questions, and we'll go from there. So, Ashley, what are we looking at? Since we've looked at your chart before, the great equalizer. Love that. Absolutely. That's what I freaking love about it. Especially when you look at charts of people who've just done like amazing shit, like unbelievable shit, and then you pull up their chart and you're like, well, holy crap. Of course they did that. They better have done that. They don't seem so amazing. If you like having the rose colored glasses on, then astrology is not for you. That's for sure. Yeah, Lou, thank you. Thank you for because I know it's complicated. Yeah. Second Saturday, Astro 101. Fourth Saturday, the private lives. Yeah. Second and third, second, and fourth. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So it's really something special. It is, but so what are, yeah, it is the raw truth. So what am I looking at in your chart? Or you just want me to kind of say whatever's jumping out, like if there's something important for this timeline here? I don't know why, but Mars has been very prominent tonight, and that's what's jumped out on me on your chart again. It's been a big deal tonight. I know Mars is in Cappy, and where is your Capricorn energy? Oh, in the third house. Okay, so that means, yeah, we got Mars sitting here right now on Vega. Mars is sitting on your Vega, third house of communication, and the third house is learning. The third house is communication and sharing. It's also teaching. The Mars sitting there, let me see, your natal Mars is at, oh, is that right? Your Mars is at 14 in Leo. Okay, maybe that's why that was jumping out. Again, because it's Kazemi with the sun, this Mars is first of all very disciplined. It will, yeah, it just behaves a little bit differently in Cappy. It's great. Normally, though, if it wasn't like this big Kazemi, there might have been a little bit of irritation because, well, it's a quincunx with your natal Mars. And so it has to do with the thoughts and the thinking and communication. And this is siblings, by the way, too. Siblings, coworkers, neighbors, peer energy, right? Strong communications, but goals and things that we're working on and what we're building towards. Cappy is earthy energy. It's usually very tangible. And so the Mars and Mars, that connection can be all about being a little feisty, like a short wick. But again, it might not have felt that way. It might have come across where, maybe you were just more serious than usual, even though you're Mars and Leo who likes to have a good time and play and laugh. It's in your 10th house of Sirius all by itself. So when we have Mars and Leo, we can be very physical, very, very colorful, even, right? Whether it's costume, whether it's my hair or my head is colorful. Mars can have like this kind of like this military kind of vibe going on. But yes, overall, I just think Mars might have just maybe not have been as playful as usual. But when a person has Capricorn in their third, that's usually a serious individual anyway. And their ability to communicate is usually, it might seem a little on the slow side. Not slow as in they don't get it, not like that kind of slow. Slow as in they're rather methodical in the words that they choose when they're speaking. And they almost speak in a way. Actually, I love when I listen to Capricorn people talk when they have the Cappy in the third, because they can speak in a very structured way. And it's really easy to understand them. Whereas sometimes, especially when I'm reading charts, I feel like my mouth is like the funnel piece, and it's all my head is the funnel, and everything's coming through, and it comes kind of out all at the same time. And it's like, well, how is someone going to be able to understand that shit? Well, that's not going to happen with Cappy in the third house. Yes, absolutely. And I've seen lots of people with that. And I always, you can just, man, you can hear it. Of course, it can be some stern words. These people are like, I'm the boss. So there can be a little bit of that in there. But you even have Pallas Athena here. She's quite strategic. Okay. She's really strategic. So this is a strategic communicator. Absolutely. And you're thinking about the end result, the long term. And it helps that you have a Virgo. You have a sun in Virgo. Wow. Okay, that's a nice trine. Your sun's been getting a nice trine from all these planets going through here. So I feel like I'm rambling. Did you have a question with this? With anything on here though, in terms of And why you came up tonight, or did you just want to? Yeah, Mars can be very independent energy. Mm-hmm. Where's the Jupiter's your great benefic? And where okay, there it is at 20, and you have okay, let me see what you got over there. Okay, nothing. Oh, you have a 0 degrees air. Oh, your Mercury's at 0 and it's a retrograde Mercury. Ooh. Wow, what an interesting combination. Sometimes when people have the Libran energy, there might be a hesitation, right? Because they're thinking about, okay, what's fair, right? Especially when they're talking about it. But yours is kind of internal, but there's this group vibration to it. But it's also like this very quick energy, Aquarius and the lightning bolt kind of stuff. So even though Mercury can kind of go deep and be that detective, and yeah, contracts and writing would be huge here for sure. Lawyer energy, even. This would be huge. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So you had a Mercury square in Mercury. Yeah. Unique and different. But yeah, astrology, 11th house. And here you are, Mercury in the 11th house. Yeah. What's fascinating too in your chart as I'm looking at this Mercury, when we talk about people's ability to learn and communicate, your sun is way back here. Let me get rid of this damn transit chart real quick because your natal chart is kind of fascinating just in itself. And I don't see a question, so I'm just going to do this. Your sun is way back here at 12 degrees in Virgo, and your Mercury's way the hell ahead of your sun in another sign. And it's a retrograding Mercury. So the thinking, right? And yeah, in the 11th and that lightning bolt stuff, the 11th is spoken of, Uranus energy, divine knowledge kind of energy. But because it's so far ahead of your sun, usually very quick learners. So I feel like you're really fortunate to have that. I mean, I see a lot of charts where folks have, oh, you do have the Chiron trining this. Okay. And there's wounds from the past in communicating. Okay. But maybe only in communicating about things which you value and desire and bonded energy. Okay. It's a trine to that. But a Mercury retrograde is a stronger Mercury, even though it's internal. Yeah. I feel like the lightning bolt, though, it's going to help it. That's what I feel. The lightning bolt's going to make it kind of, yeah, because it adds a speed to it. It's the lightning, it brings the storm, and it's like, yeah, I'm here to talk about this. But learning, the love of learning will be strong. So yeah, maybe that's why you're like, yeah, I just want to chit chat. You even have Uranus at 5 degrees in Saggy. Okay. 5 degrees in Saggy. Nice. Fun. This is going to be different, exciting, and fun, optimistic, adventurous. You value this, but different and new. And technology, live streams, Uranus energy, big time. And then Jupiter right there at 3. Holy crap. Fortunate for you. Nice combination. And that Jupiter is your great benefic. So that's beautiful. But I would imagine this can make things a little tricky sometimes because that 5th house can be romance, children, fun, joy, creativity. And the Jupiter right next to it, holy crap. That probably would have been a bit to handle when you were, I don't know, when we're youngsters growing up. That might have been a little bit of a thing to to tame that energy, I should say. Try to tame that. So yeah, this is the opposition to this Chiron, this wound. Speaking, speech, learning. Interesting. So sometimes that can bring on something with speech where there's, I don't know, Sometimes it can just be all in the head and not like, like a speech impediment or yeah, it could just have to do with something about learning, but it's got some serious history to it because that eighth house is all that trauma energy. Yeah, and you've got the north node there too, so you're supposed to communicate about it. Yeah. Wow, look at that. It's in Jupiter. Ooh. Okay, more Jupiter stuff. Very wise energy. A lot of transformation energy, the ability to change and transform, and you even have vertex at 11. Holy crap. That means you got a vertex at 11 in Sagittarius. Oh, the anti-vertex would be like right here. So fated energy through travels, higher education, and again, the justice, the judicial system, lawyer energy comes up again. The ability to make an income with that. Yeah. But the vertex, group energy, okay, comes up again. Shocks and surprises, maybe being the authority of it all. You even have a retrograde Venus. Wow. So you have a retrograde Venus and a retrograde Mercury. Holy shit. Well, that changes things. Your Venus. Oh, this is good. A Venus in Leo is going to be optimistic and fun loving, and your moon is right next to it. So this is kind of this, if you didn't have these two things right here like this, even though they're in the 10th house, but having a moon, oh, and it's at a Jupiter freaking degree. Okay. Yeah, fun. This is like energy that wants to play and have fun, right? Even though it's in serious career energy, but this can be all about beauty, and costumes and makeup. And I mean, it can be about very colorful stuff. It can be artistry of whatever kind, right? It can be part of that and having a career in that, especially since it trines Neptune. Whoa, nice trine to Neptune. But again, the serious Capricorn stuff, people who have a Cappy like in the third and then the fourth, sometimes those people have what they feel like is bouts of depression, even. So I think having a moon in optimistic, courageous, and fun, entertaining Leo with conjunct the Venus can be kind of a good thing. I think that can be a very good thing. And then having Aries in the sixth house, that's great too. Because when we have our Aries energy in our sixth, that sixth is our day-to-day routines. It's the boring shit, the stuff in the house that we do every day. We get up, we take a shower, we do the laundry, we do the dishes, we take care of the dogs, the cats. We move some furniture, we clean this, we clean that. We got to do housekeeping, we got to whatever, right? So it's the stuff that you do so much, it's just on repeat. But you have Aries, so it's very physical. It's going to be very active. It can be very optimistic and youthful energy. So it can kind of keep things lively and fresh. That's what Aries is good at. On the downside of that, it can maybe be a little combative in the home. It can be, especially if it's messing with Aries stuff or its workspace. Holy shit. That could be tricky. Oh. All right. Travel, yeah, big time travel for sure. Oh, yes. Aries in the sixth. Yes, very physical. Yep. Yep. Awful anxiety. Good God. Yeah. Yeah, and I think part of it is having the anxiety. Whenever you mix electric nerve energy in the house of emotions, the fourth house, your feelings and your emotions, that's the anxiety. That makes it worse. We think of electricity and being plugged in and yeah, our neurons are constantly just overloaded. Yeah, that's hard. That's hard stuff. Okay. So, yeah, Lou, I was just about to say I didn't know you were here, even though I saw your comment and yeah, hello. I didn't, I just, yeah. Um, all right. So I don't know who's next. It's 10:01. I think we're ending. Yeah, we started at 8 o'clock tonight. Gibson says, I can't put them down. They are all so beautiful. 7 of them now. Holy crap. Oh, Gibson, you have been the extra set of hands that they are so freaking blessed. Oh my God. Jupiter has been adding to your family, amiga. For real. Yes. Oh my God. You have 7 grandbabies? Holy shit. Did you just have a set of twins or something? Oh no, you probably have multiple births by 2 different uh children. I can't remember. I swear I can't keep up. All right, I think we're done. So let me run really quickly through the things I already mentioned earlier. So next Saturday is the astrology class, and it's going to be at this time, but it won't be live on YouTube. If you want to be a part of it, send me an email. Okay, it's on Zoom. I have private stuff on Zoom. All right. You just send me a thing, and I have things set up in a way so that it's definitely something that everybody can partake in. I'm not trying to have anybody left out. I want people to, you know, to be able to be involved and to take part in what we do. So, astrology classes are every second Saturday of each month. Got it? Yes. The third Saturday, the first and the third Saturday of the month, we're live here on YouTube, doing the same thing I just did tonight. The fourth Saturday is a private live stream. So it's kind of like this, but it's on Zoom. It's actually just like this, but it's on Zoom. So it adds another layer of privacy for people who may have very sensitive real life issues going on that they don't want here. And we have those folks who check in for that reason for that. And that's why I offer it. All right. So you got questions? The email is down below. And remember, when we come back or whenever, if you want to send a gift to the channel, I don't know if I was able to share it with everybody, but I had a couple of very generous donations. And so Allastrology will have its own device, its own recording device. I can go live on it. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens with that. I still might be in here doing live streams, but um, yeah, we're moving on up. Put down my Jefferson's music, man. Where's my music? All right, we are done. Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. And if you didn't get a chance for your chart to get looked at, we will be back here not next Saturday, but the following Saturday. Of course, you can always catch me on any of the videos on YouTube. And yeah, that's it. We're done. Adios, amigos and amigas. Happy New Year, everybody. And I will see you all. I will see some of you Saturday for the astrology class. And with that, I'm going to say goodbye. Have a good one, everybody.